it. Like obviously it's the fact when something like that happens and the school don't necessarily see the issue with that, something as serious as that, you're like, I've got to take him out, innit? Like,
they're not. This ain't the right school.
This ain't the right school for him.
Yo, the fact that they said, like I said, I can get that you took the picture, you're not even
you're
not
even in the moment you took moving on.
Yeah. And then, but then once you look at it, you be like, like we can't put this.
Because it's been enough. Because I do a lot of children photography. Like that's probably my main money earner now is doing like book companies and whatever. And it's been so many times in the moment I'm just taking photos. But then when I've gone back to edit them, like right, skirt was lifted up. Let me delete that one. Do you know what I'm saying? Or she was playing now, she sat down, her legs are open. Let me delete that one. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I'd never think,
turn that to the parents.
They'll approve that. No, it's stupid, man. Especially in this day and age as well. With
everything that's going on. You just, do you know what with schools? Like I wouldn't be reluctant to take my kid out of school. And that's just the reality of it. Like I said, a lot of the school system, there's a lot of things I don't necessarily agree with.
You're going to do some homeschool now?
Homeschool. Ideally, like that's probably what I'd love to do in it in reality. But I just need to get myself in a better position in order so that it like I have no problems in terms of doing that, even if it's like officially getting my one day off. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, at the moment, I'm doing exams and whatnot, so I'm just hoping that once all that's like passed, then that the days what I have off for my like studying, I could use that to
do some homeschooling.
Homeschooling. Because the more I think about it, it's just like it's like it just opens up more avenues. Because like I said, there's a lot of things what I disagree with in school. Obviously, the school always ask, like, say for example, in this day and age, like they'll be like, oh, right, this is the book what we're reading in school. Are you happy with your child to read this? Like, at this moment of time, it's about a pen. He wants to identify is a blue pen, and he wants to identify as a different colour, basically. And I was like, well, the young, who's to say that they even know the colours? Do you know what I mean? But you got a blue pen that wants to be a red pen, and then what? When I tell my son it's red, he's like, no, it's not. It's, do you know what I mean? A different colour. Do you know what I mean? So there's like a lot of those things. Is
that a true thing with the red pen?
It's an actual book. What's in the syllabus? Yeah, that a blue pen.
That's made it into the syllabus. Like they're trying to teach the kids about. So what does the pen represent?
But they said then
is it colour representing the gender?
Well, yeah, but they're saying they're not going in detail. This is what they're saying. They're not going to go in detail.
But that's just confusing things.
Exactly.
Why are you going to confuse them in the first place? This is what frustrates the hell out of me, man.
Well, yeah.
No, it does though, because all of a sudden now, and do you know what? This guy.
I love it because when I got a phone call from a friend of mine the other day, and he was kicking off, and I'm like, what's going on? He sent me this picture, said, yo, trying to make my kids read this book about
pens.
This little boy whose shadow is pink and wears a ballerina dress, and he's like, nah, that can't run in my kid's school. I'm like,
say that again.
So there's a book about a little boy.
Yeah.
And the little boy has a shadow.
Yeah.
And his shadow's pink. And it wears a ballerina dress.
Okay.
So it's about, learning about gender and identifying as a different gender and so forth. So my friend's like, why are they trying to confuse the kids for? And I said, I can see your point, but also for those children who are confused about gender, then I understand that it's for them to be able to understand that they're not alone. But it's like, he's like, nah, man, I want to take my kids out. They need to tell parents about these kind of things. And I was like, this is a minefield, man. I can't help you with this one. I'll listen to what you've got to say, but I don't know.
Yeah, so do you think though, Aaron, like if it was like, so if we're being completely honest, right? And I think conversations about gender and sexuality happen too young, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think we should let kids be kids, and then when they become older, start putting these things on them. We'll let them enjoy their childhood. But we're in a day and age now where schools are, I wouldn't say, promoting it.
They feel like they're obliged to put it out there to cover.
Yeah, exactly. But if I'm being honest, I don't think I want my daughter going to school at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, learning about gender identity, learning about sexuality. I don't want them really doing sex education too young. Do you know what I'm saying? I just think just let them
obviously
be kids.
It's funny because obviously when I say sex education, like, I don't mind sex education if it's, and this is what I've had the conversation with schools, okay, sex education, okay, yeah, but what are you actually speaking about? What are you actually teaching? And then they're like, okay, no, we're just naming body parts.
So yeah, cool,
okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you know what I mean? Because, yeah, people need to know
Apparently,
their body parts.
Go on.
I was gonna say the only side of it where I actually agree with the sexual education a bit earlier is for the kids that actually get sexually abused, and they might not think that, they might think it's normal.
Yeah, fair point.
Do you know what I
That's
mean?
what I'm saying about identifying the correct body parts.
Yeah, correct.
From
It needs to be
early.
identified and saying, but it's more of, you don't even need to go into detail. It's more of nobody should go near your personal space, and it's teaching children that if someone invades or goes near your personal space or touches you in a certain way, that's wrong. Do you know what I'm saying?
Great point,
and
great point.
I think that's as far as it should go. But then when we're talking the different genders and what people are identifying as these days, I think it's mad, because you can now, the amount of genders that they're trying to say is available is mad. There's a mad amount of genders, but there's only 2 genders that you can be, and I feel like it's crazy. And don't get me wrong, if you was a little boy and then you wanted to be a girl, yeah, then you know what, yeah, when you need to go through that, yeah, and then if that's what you want to be, then that's what you want to be when you get to a certain age. More power to you. But what I don't feel like is that's the majority of children. So if you've got out of 10 maybe 1 that has that feeling, then I don't feel like the whole education system needs to change and then be all inclusive then for that one child. If that was the case, then we still wouldn't be in school talking about slavery.
Do you know what?
Do you see one point? And I know it's two mad things, but it's that's the first thing that they'll talk about. Black History Month, what they talk about, Martin Luther King or slavery. Nah, forget about that. Empower our children. Don't put them down. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a bit like that. But anyway, sorry.
I was going to say that I read something years ago which said that I think in some Scandinavian countries they teach children about sex education quite early. And I think, if I'm correct, and don't quote me on any of this, that they have lower teen pregnancy rates because the children know about body parts and sex and how things work and being safe with sex from an earlier age. So what's right and what's wrong, I guess, is...
Yeah, that's what I said, it's hard, but obviously, yeah, like, if you don't say nothing, then you get people who are more inquisitive, if you know what I mean. And so, like, what, like I said, it's difficult. As long as there's open and honest communication, like I said, with the schools telling me about this is the book, what they're going to be doing, at least it allowed me to make a decision on if it's worth, like, going or to say, nah, I don't want him to do that. Do you know what I mean? Because, like I said, for colours, I was like, nah. Because at one point he was struggling with his colours. I said no, because
you're gonna confuse
him. Do you know what I mean? Because at first I said, when I looked at it, I thought it's a bit weird, but yeah, whatever. Like, he can do it. But then after, when he kept mixing up colours, I was like,
nah, you're confusing him now.
Yeah, I feel like I get the point in that book, right? But I feel like facts are facts. A blue pen is a blue pen. Use a different example.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What example can you use? Because like you said, facts are facts, innit?
Facts are facts.
Because facts are facts. You can't. It's like I said, it's a hard one, but then it's funny because when I said it, the teacher was like, yeah, and I could tell that they
agreed with you.
Yeah. They didn't want to say it, but it's like, yeah.
What would you do?
I just think primary school is probably too much of a young age to do it. As in, from the sound of it, it sounds like it's very young primary school. Maybe in the last year of primary school before transitioning to secondary
What,
school.
talk about genders or talking about sex?
Well, the coloured pen thing, that's probably a more appropriate
gender.
time in...
I think like, if they probably did that when he was older, because obviously that...
Then he knows his colours,
he knows he ain't talking about actual pens.
Yeah, you know, like, oh, wow. We're clearly not talking about pens here.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when they're still like pretty much like learning the colours
and they don't know.
Whatnot, it's like, Nah, do you know what I mean? Obviously, yeah, a lot of the things what you teach kids anyway, that probably goes over the heads. It's like it's neither here nor there, but yeah, man, it's just like you just have to decipher what's best for your kids. Like certain subjects, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want you to teach. Even if it's about Black history, no, what you teach in Black history.
Yeah, because I'll teach
if
him
you
Black
teach
history.
about slavery, nah, you just don't need to teach him. I'll put him out for that. I'll teach him myself. What do you know about
You're right.
How much power would the parents actually get though? Because I'm not at this particular point yet where you can take your kid out. Can you be like, nah, I don't want my kid to learn about, this might sound ridiculous, like the times tables, because I'd rather do that myself or something? Or is it just a particular subject that they think might be triggering or something along those lines?
It probably is, but
None, man, because you don't know what's happening in there.
But it just depends. Obviously, like I said, obviously Serena goes to like a private school nursery, so I feel like I can because I pay for it.
Yeah.
So
It's different, yeah. But when he
if I
goes
pay
back
for
to school,
something,
when
I'd
he
be
goes,
like, nah,
when he's in proper
I don't
full on
want
primary
that.
school though.
But in primary, it's like, yeah, if you went to like a public school or anything along those lines, you can still say that, but you probably feel like you have less of a
Of course.
like less what you can involve yourself in.
Could you, man, send your kids to a faith school, or is that a thing that you wouldn't do?
Well, like Catholic school.
Like Catholic school, or
Yeah.
CVs and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I heard a story recently about a parent who didn't want their child to go to a faith school, but the other parent thought that school was the best school in the area. So it's a case of what's best.
It depends what kind of faith school it is, because remember Trinity was a faith school, wasn't it? Like you have to be Christian to go to Trinity.
Did you?
Yeah,
I thought so.
you did, because I had to go past the Sam Mike.
Wasn't Aquinas like a Catholic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catholic
So, but then that's what I'm trying to say. With a lot of
I
primary,
thought so either.
yeah, exactly. A lot of primary school, it's like a lot of the better primary schools are usually like the Catholic ones, etc.
that's what-
So you'll see like they have like outstanding Ofsteds, and obviously none of it really means anything in the great scheme of things, but people have that perception like, okay, if you want to send your kid to the best school, then
You'll get taught great morals and values.
yeah. Then you'll put them there. Do you know what I mean? But like I said, it just depends on what's best for your kid, because
I wouldn't
available.
choose specifically. I want my daughter to go to a faith school. I just want her to go to the best
the
school.
best school. Yeah.
If I can afford at the time to send her to a private school, which I've deemed to be the best school, then it is what it is. As long as the only important thing is her education, and
Yeah.
that's all I care about.
Education, interaction.
It's like you made a point. You made a point earlier before, George, when you said, "Oh, I wouldn't hesitate to pull Sereno out of school if needs be." I think I'm the same with Autumn. Really, I think the only thing that would make me keep her in the school where I didn't think it was a good school was obviously I know the friends that she didn't have to go and make, because even just this week she's left her old nursery and she's gone to a new one, and I'm devastated that she's left.
The attachments.
Yeah,
and whatnot,
she was good. Like I was walking on the road with her 2 weeks ago, right, and she just started waving at this random woman, yeah. And I just thought it was just some any woman, just being a baby, carried on walking, and then she's like, "Daddy, hi." So I'm thinking, oh, she's in a good mood today, innit? But it turns out that's one of her brethren's mums from nursery, innit? But it's just those little things like that. It's just cute, innit? But I think at the end of the day, we've took her out of the nursery because this is the one she's going to now is meant to be the best one in Huddersfield, where it'll hopefully help with her development. But the most important thing is the development, and I think even her going to nursery from when she started to now, like seeing how she's come on in regards to like her speech is absolutely phenomenal. Like every week she's saying something new, like, and it's for a long time, like that. Because if we're being real, like she's got a big head in it, like, and we went to the doctors about the head, and on the checkups of her head size, because when she was born, she had a bleed on the brain. So when we used to go to the doctors, they were like, "Oh, checking her development," but they monitored her closely with her development, and it must have been about the last checkup we went to, maybe in April, March times. They were like, "Oh, we're worried about her speech because she's not really saying too many words in it," but to see how she's speaking now, like it's like, alright, cool, like there's nothing to worry about. But it's, I don't know, man. I feel like as long as she's like developing and moving in the right direction, and she go wherever. But it's important just to make sure that
She's happy as
she's
well.
happy. Yeah. But I think she went for settling in days last week, and it seems like she settled in quite well. So I'm happy. But yeah, I think, I don't know, man. I feel like as a parent, you need to be conscious of what your children are being taught anyway.
Yeah.
And I think education is one of those things that, you know, it is what you make of it. So, you know, you don't necessarily need to go to the best school if you're going to work hard and
Yes,
there's
yeah, that's what I was
teachers
gonna
there.
say, yeah.
But I feel
Yeah.
like as parents, you just need to do what you can to give your child the best. It's like when I left William Hume to go to Stratford Grammar, and I was like, I want to go William Hume. I want to go William Hume. I want to go
wanted
William
to go
Hume.
so bad,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know William Hume. Mum's like,
No.
nah. It's like, nah. It's like, oh, why not? So my friends are going there. It's only me and flipping Luke Nelson who went to Sheffield Grammar. Yeah. Got my friends staying on.
innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not going. And I guess, you know, at the time you don't understand it, but, you know, I think looking at what became of William Hume, especially for a period, you know, it was the right decision to make. You know what I'm saying? So I think a parent needs to have some sort of input. For example, if I had my way, I'd have gone William Hume.
And then
Then you would know what would have happened. That probably would be.
A waster now.
No, I won't be a waster because it's what I was saying. Like my parents would never have let me be a waster.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know what I'm saying?
It would have been harder for you then.
Yeah, I think it would have been. Yeah. I think it would have been.
So, like, I mean, in terms of taking your kids out of school for different reasons, we touched upon the idea of there being, I guess, physical problems or educational problems. But we also talked about faith schools. So when you say faith schools, although I brought it up, do you guys think a faith school would only be like a Catholic school, or do you think would you class C of V as a faith school?
There's
as well?
also thing like there's that thing in one Manchester Muslim schools as well, isn't it? Like I think.
Yeah, but you wouldn't send your child to a Muslim school, though, would you?
If you was
I don't think I would get in. To be fair,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I think I don't know. I feel like the only benefit of a faith school is you'd hopefully be teaching them the morals and values of being a good human, a good
Yeah.
But then
person.
don't all schools have to touch on that then? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
agree.
really
But I feel
sure
like,
on
for
it.
example, for
Because in
example,
yours Catholic, you went Catholic school in primary. Was it like heavily religious?
No, just did religion and sung songs, and it went to church every now and then.
Do you know what I mean? Did we have to sing religious songs?
Yeah.
In human reality.
I went to a C of E primary school and I got taught everything about all different backgrounds, colours, creeds.
Yeah.
I got taught about Kwanzaa. Yo, I'm the only person that I know who knows what Kwanzaa is. And people are like, why'd you learn about that? And I don't know, my primary school taught about Kwanzaa.
Alright, cool. So in that case, then, Aaron, like, how do you feel the experience of going to a faith school set you up as a person? Because I think as a person, you're a great man, right? But is that seriously? But is that because of the faith school, or was it because of your parents and the way you were brought up?
So I think I went, as far as I'm aware, I got sent to a faith school. I got sent to a C of E school because it was the best school in the area.
Okay.
And they taught me loads of interesting things. I would strongly argue I wouldn't do the job that I do currently or be the person that I am currently if it wasn't for the foundations I got at that particular school.
Okay.
I think it set me up in a lot of good ways. I think I could have gone the wrong way because of the area that I grew up in, but I went to a school that kept me on the straight and narrow. I think
your mum kept you on the straight and narrow too, though.
I think I was a
It's
child
probably
who
a
was,
mixture though, isn't it?
yeah, different things. I was like a child who didn't like the idea of drama or stress or the idea of getting any form of beats. So I wouldn't really.
Yeah, but again, sorry, this is just, I'm not telling you about your life, but but it's because I feel like, but that's your mum's demeanour though.
Yeah, so probably part of it is in me. But for example,
But then friendships as well. Isn't
yeah.
it?
So when I got married the other day, congratulations to me.
Congratulations.
The guy who was
great dude.
it's a lot of fun. My wedding video is pretty much just Anton laughing and having a great time. That makes my wedding video. The
Irish
guy
dancing.
Yeah, the Irish dancing was good too. The guy who was the best man at the wedding, I've known him since nursery, and we're in a similar kind of industry, and we support each other and do that. And I think it's the grounding that school gave us allowed us to be where we are. I remember in school him starting to play his instrument, and he got picked out in school for being like, oh, do you want to try this? And he got good, and now that's his career. I got told that I might be good at what I do when I was in that same primary school. So I think that school was just a good school. It happened to be a faith school. And I'm pretty sure, depending on the faith school you go to, CAV, I think, is a bit more, I'm not 100% sure about this, a bit more relaxed than a Catholic school would be in terms of what you have to learn, or potentially a Muslim school, or in Islamic school. So I think it all varies, but I think my school was a great place for grounding me to who I am today. My high school, different ball game. That's kind of made me a bit more rough and ready.
What high school did you go to?
Oakwood,
Yeah.
which is a bit more of a different kind of ball game. I remember there was some. It wasn't that
Which
bad.
school were you at when you were the fastest in Manchester?
I wasn't in school then, and I also was not the fastest in Manchester. Someone asked me if I was, and I denied that claim. I denied that claim because that is not me.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that you had the race to prove it.
No.
So you didn't race. So the kid that asked you if you was the fastest person.
That's
What
fiction
happened?
and lies by you. He just asked me. He said he heard it. Anyway, point being is, I
Ask for your
remember.
autograph.
No.
Nah, then he gassed you though, like when you said, yo, I've heard you're the fastest man in Manchester.
No.
You
Yeah,
went,
let's
listen.
Nah. I remember that day, and I remember saying to him like,
You did a quick
"What?
run, didn't you? You sprinted off.
Yes, he sprinted off. No, didn't do that at all. I didn't do that at all. That's my original point. I remember in high school there was a fight between a group of girls, and Anton's school came down. Do you remember this? I was in upper school, and we were just like hung out together. And, like the schools were rivals. I mean, Anton just stood there like.
This is
What school did you
interesting.
go to?
Aquinas.
Aquinas, yeah.
So I was like, yeah, people around here were just the rough and ready. I remember there being, maybe it could be like a high school thing or like a teenage thing. I remember there being kind of like wars between different cultures of people.
Yeah.
Especially after the Afghanistan war. And like people were like, okay, so it's going to be the British people against the people from Asia. And I'm like, but when we all pretty much born here, or like you've been here for a long time, or do you know what I mean? Like they haven't done anything. And it's, everyone's got their own viewpoints on the war. But I was like, why are you man fighting? Like that person done nothing to you. Like it's just weird. But I think high school's a different ball game. But
Yeah, it is.
But again, but like I say, because we went to them schools, and we had idiots in our schools.
Yeah.
But then she just touched on me and him stood on the sidelines. Do you know what I mean? For two different reasons. Aaron, because Aaron's just not about the drama. He just can't be bothered with it. Me, because I'm not getting involved, because no matter what they do to me, my dad will beat me more. You get me? So I was like, I'm keeping out of this because I don't need to be in it. Do you know what I mean? It's not my business. So that's why we was able just to sit on the sideline
Do you
and
think
watch
that's
what's
'cause
going on.
you had the influence of your dad being around, and the people who may have been involved that may not have been around?
That could possibly be the case, but I don't know.
You don't know.
Yo,
I don't know.
let me ask
just
you man,
saying.
a question, building on Anton's point, you just said to us, to the group, to the collective, right, that you didn't get involved in the beef because you were scared of getting beat by Pops, Do you, that fear, because it's not just straight fear, it's also fear and respect, all in one. Do you think that can be replicated? It's completely off topic by the way as well. But do you think that fear and respect can be replicated
Without beating.
exactly?
Is that what
Without,
you was gonna say?
yeah. Word for word without beating.
Yeah, because I have it now.
Okay.
But what it is with mine, and because Laura hates it, the fact that she would have to tell the kids a good few times to do something, whereas I only tell them once.
I wouldn't say it's because you like the bass in our voice, but you don't have any bass in your. That's what I was about to say it, but I actually have zero bass
No,
in
it's
it.
serious though. Really think now.
Guys,
Shooting,
daft,
man.
you know.
Shooting.
Yeah, you're daft, you know. Shut up. Shut up.
Because
The guy's daft, you know. Do you know what I mean? Why is he just got to throw shots for no fucking reason? Just sat here answering the question, having a serious moment, Jay. And then you just
I know, there's no need of it,
You know what I
man.
mean?
It's
No need
uncalled
for
for.
you to
It's uncalled for.
you know what's lovely, Carlos is such a nice guy. He didn't say nothing. But
He's laughing. He's not laughing.
This guy's a joker.
That's even worse.
Worst one for it.
That's even
Do you know
worse.
what? Yeah, because he's the aggressive one. That's why. I don't even know. Do you know what's mad? Yeah. Do you know what's mad? Yeah. So first of all, now I'll ask you a question.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, go.
I reckon I can do because when my kids was younger, it was just I never beat them. I know we always joke on here and we say beat. I hope you're gonna put something on there because you don't actually mean like we don't beat kids. Like it will be like a naughty, don't do that. So when he was younger, it used to be I had a thing where it was like a bit of a zero tolerance. So I tell him once and then I tap him on the hand like, no, stop it. And then that was like when it was toddlers, do you know what I'm saying? To the point where now, I don't even say anything to them. Like, I'll just say, I don't have to get angry with them. And I feel like, especially with Layla, she'll be more upset if I'm disappointed than angry.
Yeah.
And I've learnt that with her. If I'm angry and I come at Layla aggressively, then
she's gonna cry. Innit?
yeah, she'll cry, but she'll get her back up a bit as well and think, what? Why are you coming like that? Whereas if I just speak to her normal and I'm like, oh, that's upset me. Like, I'm real disappointed in what you've just done there. Then that hits her in a different way, and she's like, oh, right. Whereas Tyler, I could say he's disappointed in me, and he'll be like, okay. Do you know what I mean? He's happy to move on. So with Tyler, it needs to be more of, don't do that. Do you know what I mean? And I need to let him know, just with some sort of aggression, like, or in my facial expression, that I'm not happy with what he's doing. And then he will change it, do you know what I mean? And he will fix himself up. So I don't think it is a beating, because my dad, I feel, yes, Dad, you excessively, and I got beat. He excessively beats me. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't believe it.
Yo.
But do you think that's just an approach? Because I was having a conversation with a couple of my boys the other day, and one of my boys was like literally saying to his son, he's like, that is like, yo, listen, bass in voice, firm. But with his daughter, he's like, oh, I'm a princess, innit? Like, and proper like calm towards that. But I was like, I feel like that's what boys actually need. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with girls, you don't have to be as harsh at this point anyway, because obviously you're young. But yeah, with boys, and you
So
have to
Laura,
be a bit more fair.
yeah, I think it depends, because I think Laura needs to be more harsh with Layla than what she does with Tyler, because Tyler's a proper mummy's boy. So when it comes to Laura, if Laura's disappointed in Tyler, I think that hits him a different way. Do you see my point? Because Layla's a daddy's girl, so I agree with you, but it's vice versa as well. So then with mums, that's
probably why it's different for them, that they can be a bit nicer to the boys, but with the girls, probably because they know what they kind of need themselves, or what they would have wanted,
and
or
it'll
what
cause
would have
that clash
worked
as well.
with them. Yeah. What's your thoughts, Carlos, on that?
Sorry, I'm what?
This guy just sat there, just smiling, you know, just laughing.
Man, I was thinking about United's pre-season. Like,
He's thinking whether Mason Green was coming back.
Because there were a few different points we covered there.
Yeah,
because
touch on
I was going to say the C of V, because I don't even know what school we're sending Remy to, if it's C of V or if it's a Catholic school.
you're not applied yet?
Huh?
You're not applied yet?
I've got
No,
a school, but I don't...
Laura sorted it out.
No.
Yes.
We picked this
yes.
school, but I don't know if it's classified as a Church of England
What's it
school
called?
or it's...
Can't be naming names of the podcast.
Yeah.
No, you didn't know it anyway. Don't try to save him. Because you could have blurred that out. You just, if when he says a name, just beep the name then.
No, because I know I always pronounce it wrong.
So pronounce once you say it.
But I can't even remember. I've got a mind blank. I'm not even joking that, right? Do you know what?
Laura chose it. Laura chose it.
Yeah,
You go to your messages and you see what Laura told you what school Remy's going to.
Yo, it's okay, Carlos.
It's okay.
It's not that deep, bro.
It's not that deep. We don't know sometimes.
Because I usually...
Look, so what is it? No.
RCO.
C or V?
Right, it's Church of England. I didn't look at that bit on the app before. But yeah. So, but this is the best school in the area.
So C or V?
So we've picked it because it's the school that's got the smallest intake as well. So that was a consideration, because all the other schools in the area are taking like 1.5, going to have 2 classes in each year, where this isn't only going to have 1, and I think there's only going to be about 21 kids in a class. So we picked it on that basis because they're going to get more time with the children, as opposed to being in a bigger school. There's going to be definitely a lot more disruptive kids. And Remy, for the type of person he is, I feel like being in a smaller school is going to be more beneficial for him. So that's why we've picked that particular school. And the head teacher from one of the other schools is sending his kids to that school because he personally thinks that is the better school, and he's a head teacher of a different school in the area. So that's why we've
That's a good point, to be fair.
picked that school.
If a head teacher's doing that and he's like, nah, my school's rubbish.
Probably don't want his kid in his own school.
Probably, yeah, to keep his kid away from it as much time as he can. But yeah, that's the basis why we've picked that. Plus, this school does languages in the primary school, and they do music lessons with various different instruments as well.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching this episode. Please like, share, subscribe. Am I missing anything?
No.
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 Like, follow, if you don't follow us already.
Yeah. All socials, all
All
platforms,
socials.
we're there.